That's part of my job as a county commissioner, to go to those kinds of things. My job as a county commissioner is to go to one of my cities. When my cities call me and say, we have an issue, I go. But I think that's what we get paid for, not to put in per diems and not to collect mileage for.
I think we can vote on this for now, and if someone wants to do a different deal at the first of the year, we'll look at it. We got a policy here that basically says you get per diems for the committees you're assigned to, and you charge mileage to official committees that is on a list, and that's it. You don't, nothing else. And that's, and you can't get a per diem for being on the telephone or on TV or whatever. That's what we gotta go on, and then if we wanna have a work session, change this for next year, then we should do it then. Let's get this done right now.
It's okay. One more question. We have some water and we're gonna vote on.
We had I actually have two statements. We had our Health and Human Service Administrator here this evening talking about her staff and her staff's mileage, and that she didn't want people to bear the cost of doing our business, the county's business. So, you know, if this is the direction that the county board heads in, to stop paying mileage for doing the county's business, you know, I don't know that staff shouldn't be concerned. What are you guys going to do next?
We're not, that's not what we're talking about.
No,
You got it
this
all
is
wrong.
elected people.
You got it all wrong. That's not
I
what we're
would,
talking
I would propose that we take away subcommittees, because I know that a lot of my boards have subcommittees. I don't charge for any of that work, but I know there's 4 or 5 commissioners committees that subcommittees are allowed per diems, and that's just, you know, probably $1,000 a year that's going out to do something that I'm not charging to do. So, you know, maybe that's fair.
Can I
What subcommittees, Mr. Chair, I have a question. What subcommittees? You mean the executive committee of certain committees that the committee, by statute, they reimburse us for?
Every committee has subcommittees.
Not all. No,
Not all.
That's not
Every
true.
one that
That's
I'm
not-
on.
Well,
Not
that's not
everyone
true.
that I'm on.
And
Very
it
true.
doesn't mean that I charge again and again.
But that's not true. Not all the
For the
committees have
meetings
subcommittees.
No.
That's not true.
Well, the East Central Regional Development Commission has subcommittees. The Joint Job Training Board, Lakes and Pines Board.
That one's going away.
And who's attending?
That one's going away because they're done with their unions.
So who are the members that are serving on those boards?
I'm on the Lakes and Pines and that negotiating committee. It's gonna go away because every union they've withdrawn. They got one union still there and they filed to withdraw, so that committee is going away on the negotiating deal.
The subcommittees for the workforce, those are all held in one day. That's $50 for a whole day.
But then we don't need to have it
It's
as
all-
reimbursable. I mean, if you're doing one, you only get paid one per day.
And that's
I'm
the one.
doing 5 committees and I'm
But
getting
it's-
1 per diem.
It shouldn't be on the list. I mean, we shouldn't be authorizing it to be paid.
Well,
If we're-
you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to a meeting all day and get home at 4?
I don't,
For-
Let's,
Mr. Chairman,
let's
this is a
call the
personal
question
attack.
on the policy.
That is
Let's
just
call it.
inappropriate.
And Ben's part, I want to leave that in there. Is that what we're voting on?
Then what's his?
The part you want to take out on the
Yep.
teleconference? Okay.
If we could have the.
Can I just restate? I was going to ask a question, but I think the body has debated it, and I was going to ask a legal question, which I'm going to pass. Okay, so I'm not going to do that. I would like to thank the county attorney for sticking by her guns, even though I was pushing her to change her advice. I applaud you for. Okay, here's the motion that I made. That was seconded. I moved this policy in its entirety, and the actual language, not the comments, but the actual language of the policy, except I moved it without the one paragraph that Commissioner Robinson mentioned, which is the bottom of page 3 to the top of page 4. And I already debated that, and so my motion is to do that. And I haven't been able to enter into this discussion. Maybe at some point I can, but I understand that the chair wants to move on.
Did anybody second that with,
Yes.
with his part taken out?
Did I?
Yes.
I didn't second it with his part taken out.
You did for purposes of
Did I?
discussion.
Oh, for
So
purposes
he's
of
restating the
discussion.
motion.
Yeah,
Is your
okay.
second
Yeah.
still valid?
Not because I want to let that in.
I'll pull yours out.
Then you
I'll
need a
second
second.
it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. There's a motion and a
You
second.
withdrew, Walker's seconded, okay.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
It's still in there, right?
It is, yeah.
No.
No, you took it out.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, it's taken out.
He took it out. That part took it
Oh,
out.
you wanted it.
I don't want to be able to get paid for being on TV.
Oh, that.
That's what that part is, isn't it?
No.
I thought that was the part where your video.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, I had the wrong.
I just, it was just comments about failure to.
Want to clarify that.
Okay,
Sure. So the motion,
I thought it was for the
so we
telephone.
understand that
Clarify.
the motion was 4-1 to approve the policy as presented with the removal of the paragraph starting on the bottom of page 3 and the top of page 4, which I'll call the enforcement paragraph.
Yes, that's the only
It
one.
does
Okay,
still, it
that's
does still
fine.
have in
That's fine. That's
the
fine.
video
We're
teleconferencing, but that is pursuant to state statute, so.
Okay, you're an aye then.
Yeah, that's fine.
So you want to change your vote?
Yeah.
So it's 5-0.
Yes.
5-0. I ain't gonna call for.
No, that's fine, it's 5-0.
It passes unanimously.
Item number 18 is a tobacco license application for the city of Stacy.
Could I make that motion?
Yes, you may. Second? Need a second?
I'll second.
I don't smoke myself. It's my.
All
Are
those
you
in
ever
favor say aye.
smoking for less?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Item number 19 is a request that was brought forward, and it's brought forward by a group, it's not by me, so I just want to make that clear. And it is to have the county join the Highway 95 Corridor of Commerce Coalition. I forward this with, for your information, it's a new coalition that wants to get together from Princeton to Taylor's Falls. No cost at this time. I'll leave it up to the board to decide if you want to join or who would represent the county.
Need a motion to.
You could ask Nancy Hoffman to do it,
Yeah, we're gonna appoint Nancy Hoffman.
or you know, you've got 2 members on the EDA, but
What does this do?
It's advisory board, or just people that go have a meeting, talk things over and ask for something, isn't it?
Similar to
They
the
have no
Highway
power.
8 task force?
yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I'm a little concerned because they have sections in here about talking about amending a joint powers agreement, yet it's not really presented as a joint powers.
Yeah, I see that.
It is, they are proposing a joint powers agreement, but the motion tonight would allow us to attend and see what they want to do. It may result in the coming back with a formal joint powers agreement.
I'd like to make a motion to table it for more information.
Would you authorize you on staff to attend the first meeting and get more information?
Yes, I would do that.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to probably ask Nancy or Joe to do that, if you're okay with that.
Okay. Walker makes a motion to do that.
So the motion is to table, right?
Second.
Table and have.
Authorize staff to attend, okay.
Attend.
Second.
Commissioner Muska seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Carries.
All right, item number 20 has the additional amended items for tonight, so I'll take them in order. Excuse me. The first is recommendation to renew our annual service agreement with Rise Incorporated. This allows us for hiring Joe, who comes in and does shredding for us. He's one of Rise's clients. We do recommend approval. The county attorney has approved it.
Okay, need a motion to approve. Commissioner McMahon makes a motion to approve. Commissioner Muska seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
The next item, I'm sorry. Sorry, sir. The next item is a request for the county board to approve the voluntary surrender of a conditional use permit from Joseph and Jolene Hermanson of H&M Motorworks. I believe the actual motion is to approve a revocation, or do you want a voluntary surrender? What's your preference?
You said H&M, it's H&H in here.
H&H, thank you very much,
I
sorry.
make the motion.
Okay, Commissioner.
So,
Muska makes
and
a
I'm not
motion.
sure the exact legal language, either be a revocation or a voluntary surrender, so.
Okay, Commissioner Robinson
Second.
makes a motion. Commissioner McMahon seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Thank you for clarifying. The next item is an application for an exempt permit for On Eagle's Wings Ministry. And you have the information in your application for the gambling exempt permit.
Okay. Need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Commissioner Walker makes a motion to approve. Need a second.
Second.
Commissioner McMahon seconds. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed?
And then finally, just a couple of communication items that were in your packet under item 20 originally. As Nancy mentioned, interesting article from Stearns County. Very similar to us, they hired quite a few folks to handle min choices, and they're now finding that they're hiring more folks. Sounds familiar. It seems like everything we feared and predicted a couple of years ago is coming true on that. And there's other counties that are obviously going through it as well. In addition, handed out is an interesting piece that I think Commissioner Robinson saw as well, a very unique presentation on the Arts Council and the impact of arts to the community. Excuse me. I did copy for you excerpts of it. I thought it was very interesting. I gave you the statewide information, and then also there's one page on the region that we're part of, 7E, that talks about the impact of arts being almost $4 million and impacting like 30 different groups. So it's quite an interesting read about the value of arts. And then there's also a detailed breakout I did in black and white for you that goes into additional information. I thought it was an interesting presentation. It's nice to see the value of arts. There was some talk about the folks who are eligible. There's a granting process for individuals, students, as well as artists, and organizations can also apply. I think probably if the board's okay, I'll find a place to advertise this and just put it out there on one of our community pages to say, hey, this is available.
Yeah.
The one thing I would note is organizations are eligible, and so at this point, I'm tentatively planning on having the county apply for their October 1st deadline for a grant of up to $15,000 to incorporate public art into the refreshing of the 3 floors here. And there's an opportunity, just like you do for the Historical Society, to have displays. To me, this might be a great opportunity to get some display cases purchased with the grant funds that we could use for local artists to display their products as well. So unless there's a board objection, I'll be working on a grant application, bringing it for you this summer for a review.
No, good.
And then finally, just a couple of other quick notes. We are proceeding with our major capital projects. As you know, we're in the investigation and the preliminary concept phase. Just for board information, May is the month that we'll be back in front of you with the reports. They're basically called feasibility reports. At that time, we typically ask the board, do you want to proceed with the project? And then from there, we go out to bidding, contract award, and construction. So our red letter month will be May to bring those reports back to you. They're they're being written right now. In June, then, we would be back in front of the board for approval for bidding and construction approvals coming in July, and then most of the construction would happen after the 4th of July to the end of the year. We're looking at any work we did on the parking lot would be August and September, after we have some major trials in July. So we want to get the major parking done before Labor Day, but after the 4th of July. The other activities, it's a little more flexible, but basically the major construction would start July and August, and it would wrap up with the interior work next February. So we're not on quite a compressed schedule like we were the last time. But just to let you know, you'll start seeing these reports come back to you in May, then look for your approval to bid in June, award in late June or July, and then construction after that. Okay. And then just a last comment from the administrator. There were a couple comments made in the heat of the night that I just want to make sure, if any of you think that staff is not doing its job, I would ask you to please come and talk to me, talk to Janet, and we'll make sure that we answer your questions specifically. I think we're really trying to do what you want us to do and keep everything fair and balanced, and I'm assuming what was said was in the heat of the conversation you were having, and that you don't have specific concerns that you want to raise with staff. But if you do, please feel free to contact me.
I think Chase is doing a hell of a good job.
That's truthful. I mean, that's what he meant.
You done, Bruce?
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Tried.
you. Commissioner Moskowitz?
I have no committee report, except I would like to, just in case there was something I had said about staff, I think staff's doing a good job. Thank you for that. I didn't mean,
Okay.
but I have no committee report, and thank you for the meeting. You ran a good meeting.
Thank you. Commissioner
Okay,
Robinson?
we didn't have, last meeting, we didn't have a report, so I got one going back to
Oh, gee.
March 6th. Went up to Carlton for the planning and zoning training. And Jay Squires was the presenter. And during break, I kind of asked him for advice on our predator law. And he said it's really tough to come up with a law that works. He did say if you do come up with one, you'll be able to delay whatever for a couple of years while there's a fight in court over wherever it's what. But basically, he told me, he says, you'll be able to delay it a couple of years until you maybe could lose the court case. Our water plan committee, they've got more funding for boat inspectors going on and off the lakes. Last year, most of them were down the southern part, and now they're going to be county-wide. They're going to have more people looking at your boat and your trailer and the motor for the weeds and whatever they're going to look for. At the Lakes and Pines meeting, it was discussed that of all the unions now, the employees have basically kicked the unions out of everything but one, and they're working on kicking that one out. So the negotiating committee will be done pretty soon as far as negotiating with the unions, because there's not going to be anything to negotiate once their unions are done. The park board, there's still about 3 or 4 farmers over in this area on the trail going towards Taylor's Falls. There's about 3 or 4 farmers that are real hard to convince that they should make a deal here on getting the bike path from where it has to go, and that's a frustrating deal. And on 3/25, I mentioned I was down at the Capitol to testify on the overweight law that they're looking. What they did, they changed it. So before it was any truck could be up to 100,000. Well, then they changed the law for gravel trucks, for ag trucks, and they tried to shorten it. Figured maybe they'd get the votes by shortening it, but it's still 97,000 pounds no matter what's in the truck. It's still that weight. And the guy that had the bill claimed that the counties and the state were going to, first we said the roads are going to be safer, and we're going to save 4% on our road maintenance because there'll be less trucks on there, and there'll be more axles, and the trucks ain't going to whatever. And I testified, and I didn't use any notes. I just told them what I thought. And one part of the deal, it was getting late, so this Kelly, it was the Transportation and Finance Committee, kind of told me to try to finish up because it was getting late. And I told them if they would join the union, they'd maybe get better working conditions. The Republicans didn't think it was so funny, but the Democratic side laughed at it. And then the HRA meeting yesterday, as was mentioned, a guy from Mora was there with regional development and gave a presentation and basically asking us and our schools and whoever to apply for this grant money. It sounds like there's money available, and it was to deal with the arts and whatever. He said it sounds like there's money there. So if you know anybody that could apply for it and see what happens. That's all I got.
Thanks, Commissioner.
Chairman, all my meetings are next week, but I would still like to talk to the board about a work session. I think the time is, there's a lot of issues that were discussed here tonight that I think the board has to get them on the table as a work session, and I would hope that the chair could arrange maybe a work session before a county board meeting or after a county board meeting or a day off, because there are issues here that are worth discussing. And I'd also like to say something about, I don't know how that word ever got out to that community that we weren't acting on the predator.
I never heard of that.
Well, it's the county attorney's been working on it since
Since started,
yeah. So that's all I have. So if it's a consensus of the board, I'd like to have a work session and talk
Can you-
about some of these issues that are.
Yeah, make a list of the issues and give it to the administrator.
Yes.
What about for the next meeting? That's in 2 weeks.
I think that'd be
too early, or
No, I think that'd be a
say
good
that
idea.
at 4 o'clock and
Good
then
idea.
our board meeting at 6:30?
Just to clarify, is this just a list of Commissioner McMahon's issues that we're gonna have a meeting about, or?
And give a list to
Everybody.
the administrator and we'll go through
I
it.
think everything's fine. I think everything's fine.
We'll see. You give administrator and I will go through it and we'll see what is the problem and what's not. Okay, do you have a report?
No, I wasn't assigned any committees, so I have no report.
I don't have any.
They didn't meet in the last 2 weeks.
I apologize, I neglected the most important, well, not the most important, because obviously you're dealing with critical issue here, is perhaps the most important. Staffing news, we did close on the North Branch facility on Tuesday. Congratulations, you now own another building
Oh,
on behalf of the 55,000 residents of Chisago County. I did speak with Center City City Council on Monday night, and they will have a city council meeting next Tuesday, I believe, and I anticipate that they will formally request information to purchase the old building as you've approved sometime down the road. Probably won't be immediately, it might be a year from now. But they do have an interest, it seems like, at least at this point, in moving forward with acquiring it as a new city hall for the Center City. So that will then put in motion those other pieces that we've talked about, moving Heartland over, the buses over to North Branch, and allowing for this facility to be given or sold to Center City for their needs. So that was nice to see that completed. A lot of things needs to go out to the staff who worked very hard on that. Christine, John Keefe, John Thompson, Janet's review of the legal stuff as well was really critical. So I sure appreciate that very much, and thank you guys for letting us get a facility that's going to put the transit in basically in good stead for what, like 20 years?
Or 30.
Or 30? Yeah. Government 30. So
Thanks for the chairman to move it along.
yeah.
Motion to adjourn. Robinson?
Second?
Are we done?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Yep.